Have you ever felt like no matter how much you save, your money barely seems to grow? You work hard, cut back on spending, maybe even invest, but the progress feels painfully slow. Here's the truth: you're not imagining it. The first $100,000 is the hardest milestone in wealth building. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's legendary partner, once said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you've got to do it." And he was absolutely right. But why is it so difficult to get there? And more importantly, what changes once you finally hit it? Stick with me, because in this video, I'll show you why the first $100,000 feels like climbing a mountain, how the game flips after that, and the practical steps you can take to speed up your journey. When you're just starting out, building wealth depends almost entirely on you. Your paycheck, your side hustles, your discipline to save, those are the only engines pushing you forward. Yes, compound interest is working from the very beginning, but with such a small amount invested, it feels almost invisible. You put in effort, but the results barely register. Think about it this way: if you invest $5,000 and earn 10% in a year, you've made $500. Nice, but not life-changing. At $100,000 invested, that same return is $10,000 in 1 year. Suddenly it feels significant. At $1 million, it's $100,000 in growth without lifting a finger. That's why the early days feel so discouraging. Your savings contributions are carrying almost all of the weight, while your investments barely help. You're dragging the snowball uphill, and it feels heavy. And then there's the psychology. Procrastination convinces people to wait until they make more money before investing. Risk aversion makes others afraid to start at all, worrying they'll lose it. Both mindsets prevent the very progress needed to break through. But here's the twist: something dramatic happens once you finally cross $100,000. The snowball flips direction and starts rolling downhill. Suddenly, it gathers speed on its own. That's the magic of compound interest. It's been there from the beginning, but now you can finally see it. At small numbers, it looks weak. At larger numbers, it becomes unstoppable. It's like planting a tree. At first, you water the soil every day, and nothing seems to happen. Then, one day, it starts growing faster and stronger, with roots that support its own growth. This is why most people give up too early. They can't see the payoff, so they stop investing right before the momentum begins. Those who push through are the ones who get to ride the wave. Crossing the $100,000 line changes more than just numbers on a statement. It changes the way you see your money, your choices, and even your future. With 6 figures saved, you suddenly have flexibility. You can take a new job or negotiate harder because you're not terrified of losing a paycheck. You can try starting a business or side project, knowing you have a cushion to fall back on. You can even participate in opportunities that require larger sums, whether it's real estate, private deals, or simply bigger investments. And let's not forget the psychological benefit. Having 6 figures saved gives you peace of mind. Losing a few thousand on a bad investment won't derail your life anymore. That safety net makes you think differently. So how do you get there faster? If the first $100,000 relies mostly on you, the answer is to supercharge your saving and investing. That means increasing your income, prioritizing savings, cutting back temporarily, and being intentional with every dollar. Maybe that looks like freelancing on the weekends, or building a side hustle that's dedicated solely to investments. Even a few hundred extra dollars a month, consistently invested, can shave years off your journey. It also means making saving automatic. Set up transfers that move money to your investment account the moment your paycheck lands. If you don't see it, you don't miss it. Treat saving like a bill you have to pay, not an option you can choose. And yes, it often means cutting back on spending, at least temporarily. Maybe you delay upgrading your car. Maybe you swap expensive nights out for more affordable options. These sacrifices aren't forever. They're accelerators to push you past the hardest stage. When you think about buying something, pause and ask yourself, Does this purchase really add lasting value? Or would that money do more for me compounding over time? That single question can completely shift your habits. Now here's the exciting part. Once you finally hit that $100,000 milestone, the work gets easier. From there, your investments start growing faster than your contributions. Instead of you doing all the heavy lifting, your money begins working harder than you do. And that shift changes everything. At this stage, people often feel motivated to seek out smarter investments. They're willing to take calculated risks, knowing they have a cushion to fall back on. They stop stressing over every single penny because compounding is now their ally. And the effect only compounds at bigger milestones. Just like the first $100,000 is the hardest, the first million is harder than the second. And once the momentum is there, the snowball builds itself. Remember that feeling of frustration at $10,000 or $20,000 when the numbers barely moved? By the time you're at $100,000, you look back and realize the grind was worth it. Because now, the money itself is pushing you forward. That's the snowball effect in action. It's not just math, it's motivation. You actually see progress, and that excitement drives you to keep going. So here's the bottom line. The first $100,000 is the longest, most disciplined stretch of the journey. It's carried almost entirely by your effort, your savings, and your willingness to sacrifice. But that grind pays off in more ways than one. It gives you meaningful returns, opens new opportunities, and gives you the freedom to make bolder choices. And the key to getting there faster is simple. Increase your income, automate your savings, cut back on spending temporarily, and above all, stay patient when it feels like nothing is happening. Because one day the snowball will take off, and you'll look back and realize that persistence was the difference between staying stuck and finally reaching financial freedom. Now let me ask you, where are you right now on your journey? Are you pushing toward your first $10,000, working on your first $100,000, or already beyond? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. If this video helped you, hit the like button so more people can find it. Make sure you subscribe for more practical strategies to build wealth. Remember, the hardest part is getting started. But once the snowball starts rolling, money has a funny way of multiplying. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep going. Your future self will thank you.